The key turned silently in the lock. Marcus stood frozen in his own doorway, one hand still gripping the handle, the other holding his briefcase. The penthouse was dim. No lights in the hallway, no sound of footsteps, no voice calling his name. Just silence. Heavy silence. Then he heard it, a woman's laugh. Soft, familiar, but different somehow. It floated down from upstairs, from the master suite. His heart began to pound. He took one careful step forward, then another, his expensive shoes making no sound on the marble floor. As he reached the bottom of the spiral staircase, he heard a man's voice. Low, casual, comfortable, too comfortable. Marcus's breath caught in his throat. He knew that voice. He knew it better than almost any voice in the world. David, his best friend, his brother in everything but blood. The man who stood beside him at his wedding. The man he trusted with his business secrets, his fears, his life. Marcus took another step up the stairs. The bedroom door was slightly open, just enough for light to spill out into the hallway. Just enough for him to see shadows moving inside. He was 3 steps from the top when a hand suddenly pressed against his chest. Marcus spun around, his mouth opening to shout. Another hand covered his lips. Warm fingers, trembling badly. "Sir," a voice whispered desperately in his ear. "Please, be quiet." It was Joy, the maid. Marcus's eyes went wide. His heart hammered so hard he thought it might break through his ribs. Joy's face was pale, her eyes filled with tears and something else. Fear. Guilt. She pulled him gently, urgently, back down the stairs, away from the light, away from the voices, away from the truth he wasn't ready to face. Inside the bedroom, his wife Vanessa laughed again. That same strange laugh. Marcus didn't know it yet, but Joy's whispered words had just saved him from something far worse than heartbreak. Earlier that same day, Marcus was not supposed to be home. Everyone knew he was in Dubai, finalizing a merger that would take at least 2 weeks. Even Vanessa knew. She had kissed him goodbye at the airport 3 days ago, her arms wrapped around his neck. "Come back safely," she had said, her voice sweet. "I will," Marcus replied, smiling. "I'll bring you something beautiful." "You're already beautiful enough," Vanessa said, touching his face. Marcus had believed every word, but the deal in Dubai finished faster than anyone expected. The investors were eager, papers were signed in record time, money moved, contracts sealed. Marcus stood by the floor-to-ceiling window of his hotel suite, looking out at the glittering city below, and smiled to himself. "I'll surprise her," he thought. "She'll be so happy." He imagined Vanessa's face lighting up when he walked through the door. He imagined her running to him. He imagined her saying she missed him. That thought alone made him rush to the airport. Marcus was a billionaire, but not the flashy kind. He didn't wear gold chains or drive 10 different cars. He worked hard, stayed humble, and believed that success meant nothing without people you loved. He grew up poor, very poor. As a boy, he shared a single room with his mother and 2 younger sisters. When the rent was due, his mother cried quietly in the corner. When food was scarce, she smiled and said she had already eaten. Marcus promised himself that when he made it, he would build a life filled with loyalty, love, and peace. That's why Vanessa mattered so much. She came into his life like a dream. Beautiful, smart, elegant. She knew how to talk to investors. She knew how to dress for galas. She knew how to make him feel like he had finally arrived. When he proposed, she cried. Real tears, he thought. Their wedding was grand. Hundreds of guests, a cathedral filled with flowers. Vanessa in white, glowing like an angel. Marcus believed he had won. He believed love and money could finally walk together. But he was wrong. Vanessa never loved Marcus. She loved what he could give her. The lifestyle, the status, the power of being Mrs. Marcus Okonkwo. Before Marcus, Vanessa had been seeing David. Not dating officially, but close enough. David was charming, handsome, fun, But he was also broke, always chasing deals that never closed, always talking about the next big thing that never came. When Vanessa met Marcus at a charity event, she saw an opportunity. David saw it too. "This is it," David had said to her one night after she told him about Marcus's interests. "This is how we win." Vanessa hesitated. "You want me to marry him?" David pulled her close. "We marry him. You wear the ring. I stay close. We take everything slowly, carefully. And then?" David smiled. "And then we disappear together, with half of everything." Vanessa had looked into David's eyes, the eyes she actually wanted, the man she actually desired. "Okay," she whispered. So she married Marcus with lies in her heart and David still in her bed. Even after the wedding, even after moving into the penthouse, Vanessa never stopped seeing David. She just became more careful, or so she thought. The maid's name was Joy. She was 23, quiet, and always in the background. She cleaned, she cooked, she listened, and she noticed things. Joy noticed how Vanessa's phone buzzed constantly when Marcus traveled. She noticed how Vanessa smiled differently when certain calls came in. She noticed the man who visited late at night, always wearing a cap, always leaving before dawn. The first time Joy saw David clearly, her stomach dropped. She recognized him. He was Marcus's best friend, the man who came over for Sunday dinners, the man Marcus called brother. Joy wanted to say something. Many times she opened her mouth, but the words never came. Who would believe a maid? And what if she was wrong? So she stayed quiet. She watched. She waited until 2 days ago. Vanessa had called Joy into her bedroom. Joy entered nervously, hands clasped in front of her. "Close the door," Vanessa said. Joy did. Vanessa sat on the edge of the bed, legs crossed, looking at Joy like a cat looking at a mouse. "You're a pretty girl, Joy," Vanessa said slowly. Joy's heart began to race. "Thank you, Ma." Vanessa stood and walked closer. "My husband likes you." Joy's eyes widened. "Ma, no. I would never." "Relax," Vanessa interrupted, waving her hand. "I'm not accusing you. I'm just saying he notices you." Joy didn't know what to say. Vanessa smiled. "I need your help with something." "Anything, Ma." Vanessa's smile grew sharper. "When Marcus comes back from his trip, I want you to dress differently." Joy blinked. "Ma?" "Something tight, something that shows your shape. You understand?" Joy's throat went dry. I don't understand." Vanessa sighed like she was explaining something simple to a child. "I want you to serve him dinner, alone. Wear something that makes him look twice." Joy felt her stomach twist. "Ma, why?" Vanessa's eyes went cold. "Because I'm asking you to. That's why." Joy looked down. "Okay, Ma." "And then," Vanessa continued, stepping even closer, "I want you to touch him." Joy's head snapped up. "Ma, no, please." Vanessa's voice dropped low. Dangerous. "You'll lean close. You'll brush against him. You'll make it look like you want him. And if he pushes you away, you push harder." Joy felt tears burning behind her eyes. "Ma, I can't do that." Vanessa grabbed Joy's chin, forcing her to look up. "Yes, you can. Because if you don't, I'll make sure you never work in this city again. I'll tell everyone you tried to seduce my husband. I'll destroy you." Joy's breath trembled. Vanessa released her and smiled again. Sweet this time. Fake. "But if you do this, I'll give you money. Enough to take care of your family for a year." Joy felt trapped, cornered. She thought of her mother in the village, her younger brother in school, the rent they couldn't pay. "Okay, Ma," Joy whispered, her voice breaking. "I'll do it." Vanessa patted her cheek. "Good girl." But as Joy left the room, tears streaming down her face, she made a decision. She would not do it. She didn't know how yet, but she would not let this woman destroy an innocent man. The penthouse gate opened quietly that evening. Marcus stepped out of the car, smiling, carrying a small gift box in his hand. The security guard looked shocked. Sir, you're back early. Yes, Marcus said happily. I wanted to surprise my wife. Don't call ahead. Let me walk in myself. The guard nodded, confused but obedient. Inside the house, the lights were low, too low. Marcus frowned slightly. He set his briefcase down near the door and loosened his tie. That's when he heard the laugh. Soft, female, coming from upstairs. And then the man's voice. Casual, comfortable. Marcus's heart skipped. He moved toward the stairs slowly, carefully, his mind racing. Joy had been cleaning the second-floor hallway when she heard the front door open. Her heart nearly stopped. She peeked over the railing and saw Marcus. Her hands went cold. She heard the voices too. Vanessa and David. They were in the bedroom, door half open, talking freely because they thought they were safe. Joy's mind screamed. She had to warn him. But how? If she shouted, Vanessa and David would hear. If she ran to him, they'd have time to cover up. She moved quickly, barefoot, silent. She reached Marcus just as he was about to step into full view of the bedroom door. She pressed her hand to his chest. He spun around, eyes wide, mouth opening. She covered his lips with her other hand. Sir, she whispered desperately, her voice shaking. Please, be quiet. Marcus's eyes searched hers, confused, panicked. Joy's hands trembled as she gently pulled him back, down the stairs, away from the light. Inside the bedroom, Vanessa's voice floated out clearly. So it's all set, she said. Joy agreed? David chuckled. She had no choice. You scared her good. Vanessa laughed. She'll do exactly what I told her. And when Marcus pushes her away, which he will, because he's so noble, I'll walk in. I'll scream. I'll cry. I'll call it assault. David's voice was smooth, pleased. And then, Vanessa said slowly, I divorce him. I take half. We disappear. Marcus stood frozen at the bottom of the stairs, Joy's hand still on his arm. His face had gone completely pale. His breathing was shallow. Joy looked up at him, tears in her eyes. I'm sorry, sir, she whispered. I'm so sorry. Marcus's jaw tightened. He looked up toward the bedroom, his hands shaking. Joy pulled on his arm gently. Sir, please, not yet. Marcus looked down at her. His eyes were red. Why? He whispered hoarsely. Because, Joy said softly, if you go up there now, she'll twist it. She'll lie. She'll make you the villain. Marcus's fist clenched. She's planning to destroy me. Joy nodded, her voice breaking. I know. That's why I couldn't do it, sir. That's why I'm helping you. Marcus stared at her for a long moment. Then slowly he pulled out his phone. Joy's eyes widened. Sir, what are you? Recording, Marcus whispered. He held the phone up slightly, aimed toward the stairs, toward the open bedroom door. Vanessa's voice was still clear. Do you think Marcus suspects anything? David asked. Vanessa scoffed. Marcus? No. He's too trusting, too soft. He thinks everyone is good like him. David laughed. That's what makes this so easy. Exactly, Vanessa said. And Joy? She's terrified. She'll do exactly what I said. By tomorrow night, Marcus will be humiliated and I'll be the victim. Marcus's hands shook as the phone recorded every word. Joy watched him, her heart breaking for him. After a few more minutes, Marcus stopped the recording. He looked at Joy, his face hard now, no longer soft. Thank you, he said quietly. Joy wiped her tears. What will you do, sir? Marcus's voice was steady, cold. I will not barge in. I will not shout. I will be quiet. He looked back toward the stairs. But soon, he continued, his voice like ice, everyone will hear the truth. Marcus did not go upstairs that night. Instead, he quietly left the house through the side entrance. He told Joy to act normal, to pretend she never saw him. Are you sure, sir? Joy whispered. Marcus nodded. Yes, let them think they're winning. Joy swallowed hard. What about tomorrow, when Madam tells me to? You won't have to, Marcus interrupted gently. I promise. Joy nodded, though fear still gripped her chest. Marcus got back into his car and drove to a hotel. He sat alone in the dark room, staring at his phone, at the recording. He played it over and over. Each word stabbed him. His wife, his best friend, the two people he trusted most in the world. Marcus closed his eyes and let the pain wash over him. He did not cry, not yet. There would be time for that later. For now he had to think. He called his lawyer, Barrister Emeka, at midnight. Marcus? Emeka answered groggily. Is everything okay? No, Marcus said. I need to see you first thing tomorrow morning. It's urgent. Emeka's voice sharpened. What happened? I'll explain when I see you. Just be ready. Okay, I'll be at the office by 7 a.m. Marcus hung up. Then he called his head of security chief. Chief, Marcus said calmly, I need surveillance set up in my house. Cameras, audio, everything. Chief hesitated. Sir, in your own house? Yes. Is there a problem? Marcus's voice didn't waver. There will be, soon. Understood, sir. Marcus set the phone down. He sat back and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow he would return home. He would smile. He would pretend. And he would let Vanessa and David dig their own graves. The next morning, Marcus walked back into the penthouse as if nothing had happened. He smiled at the guards. He greeted the cook. He climbed the stairs calmly. Vanessa was still in bed when he opened the door. She sat up quickly, surprised. Marcus, you're home. Marcus smiled. Yes, the deal finished early. Vanessa's face lit up, but her eyes flickered with something else. Panic, maybe, or calculation. She jumped out of bed and hugged him tightly. I missed you so much. Marcus wrapped his arms around her, even though his skin crawled. I missed you too. Vanessa pulled back and looked at him. You should have called. I would have prepared something. I wanted to surprise you, Marcus said. Vanessa laughed. Well, you did. Marcus kissed her forehead. Inside, he felt nothing. No warmth, no love. Just cold, hard clarity. I'm going to shower, he said. Okay, I'll make us breakfast. Marcus nodded and walked into the bathroom. He closed the door, locked it, and leaned against the sink. His reflection stared back at him. The same face, but different eyes. Downstairs, Vanessa grabbed her phone and quickly texted David. He's back early. Stay away for now. David's reply came fast. What about the plan? Vanessa bit her lip. Still on. Tonight. She put the phone down and took a deep breath. Then she called Joy. Joy, come here. Joy appeared within seconds, her face pale. Yes, Ma. Vanessa looked her up and down. Tonight. Remember what I told you? Joy's stomach turned. Yes, Ma. Good. Wear the dress I left in your room. Serve him dinner at 8 p.m. I'll be out. Joy nodded slowly, her heart sinking. Vanessa smiled. Don't disappoint me. Yes, Ma. But as Joy left the room, she felt her hands trembling. She didn't know what would happen tonight, but she prayed Marcus had a plan. That afternoon, Marcus sat in Barrister Emeka's office. He played the recording. Emeka listened without interrupting, his face growing darker with every word. When it ended, Emeka leaned back in his chair and exhaled slowly. Marcus, he said carefully, this is serious. I know. If you confront them now, they'll deny it. They'll say the recording is fake or taken out of context. Marcus nodded. That's why I'm not confronting them. Emeka frowned. Then what are you doing? Marcus's eyes were hard. I'm letting them try. Emeka blinked. Try what? The plan, Marcus said. Tonight, Vanessa expects Joy to seduce me. She expects me to push her away. Then she'll walk in and accuse me. Emeka's eyes widened. Marcus, you can't let that happen. I won't, Marcus said calmly, because I'll have cameras. I'll have witnesses, and I'll have proof of everything. Emeka stared at him for a long moment. Then he nodded slowly. You've changed. Marcus's jaw tightened. I had to. That evening, at exactly 8 p.m., Joy stood in her small room, staring at the dress Vanessa had left for her. It was red, tight, low cut, the kind of dress Joy would never wear. Her hands shook as she picked it up. She thought of her mother, her brother, the money Vanessa promised. Then she thought of Marcus, his kind eyes, his gentle voice, the way he always said thank you when she brought him tea. Joy set the dress down. She walked to her closet and pulled out her normal uniform. Simple, modest, respectful. She put it on. Then she prayed. Downstairs, Marcus sat in the dining room, waiting. The table was set. The lights were dim. Everything looked normal. But hidden in the corners were cameras. Tiny, invisible, recording everything. Chief and 2 other security men waited in the next room, ready. Barrister Emeka sat in a car outside, phone in hand. Marcus took a deep breath. Then Joy walked in. Marcus looked up. His eyes softened when he saw her uniform. Joy set the tray down, her hands shaking slightly. "Good evening, sir." "Good evening, Joy," Marcus said gently. She served the food quietly. Marcus watched her carefully. "Joy," he said softly. She looked up, startled. "Yes, sir." "You're wearing your uniform." Joy's eyes filled with tears. "Yes, sir." Marcus nodded slowly. "Thank you." Joy's lips trembled. "Sir, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything." Marcus shook his head. "You have nothing to be sorry for." Before Joy could respond, the front door opened. Vanessa walked in. She froze when she saw Joy in her uniform. Her eyes went wide. Then they narrowed with fury. "What is this?" Vanessa hissed. Joy stepped back, terrified. Marcus stood up slowly, his face calm. Vanessa looked between them, her mind racing. This wasn't the plan. Joy was supposed to be wearing the red dress. She was supposed to be draped over Marcus. "Where is the dress I gave you?" Vanessa demanded, her voice rising. Joy's voice shook. I couldn't, Ma." Vanessa's face twisted with rage. "You stupid girl." She moved toward Joy, hand raised. Marcus stepped between them. "Enough," he said quietly. Vanessa froze. Something in his voice made her blood run cold. Marcus looked at his wife, really looked at her. And for the first time, Vanessa saw that he knew. Her face went pale. "Marcus," she started, her voice shaking. "I can explain." "No," Marcus interrupted calmly. "You can't." Vanessa's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Marcus pulled out his phone and pressed play. Vanessa's own voice filled the room. Joy agreed. "She'll do exactly what I told her. And when Marcus pushes her away, I'll walk in. I'll scream. I'll cry. I'll call it assault." Vanessa's legs buckled. She grabbed the back of a chair to steady herself. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no." David's voice came next on the recording. And then I divorce him. I take half. We disappear." Vanessa's face crumpled. She looked at Marcus, then at Joy, then back at Marcus. "How?" she breathed. Marcus's voice was ice. "I came home early. I heard everything." Vanessa's eyes darted around like a trapped animal. "Marcus, please, it's not what you think. David, he forced me. He manipulated me." Marcus didn't blink. "Stop. Please." Vanessa fell to her knees. "I love you. I made a mistake." Marcus looked down at her. Once, this woman had been everything to him. Now she was a stranger. "You never loved me," Marcus said quietly. "You loved what I could give you." Vanessa sobbed, but Marcus turned away. He looked at Joy. "Are you okay?" Joy nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Yes, sir." Marcus nodded. Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. "Chief, come in." Within seconds, the door opened. Chief and 2 security men entered. Behind them, Barrister Emeka walked in, his face grave. Vanessa looked up, her face streaked with tears and mascara. "Mrs. Vanessa," Emeka said formally, "you are being recorded. Everything you've said and done tonight has been documented." Vanessa's mouth fell open. Emeka continued, "We also have evidence of your conspiracy with Mr. David to defraud and falsely accuse Mr. Marcus. Legal proceedings will begin tomorrow. Vanessa screamed. No! You can't do this! Marcus's voice cut through. I can, and I will! Vanessa turned to him, desperation in her eyes. What about David? He's your best friend. Marcus's jaw tightened. He was. Within an hour, the police arrived. Vanessa was escorted out in handcuffs, still crying, still screaming. David was arrested at his apartment an hour later. When they played him the recording, his face went white. Marcus, David said when they brought him in for questioning. We were brothers. Marcus looked at him through the glass. Brothers don't betray each other. David's head dropped. The case moved quickly. The evidence was overwhelming. The recordings. The cameras. Joy's testimony. The media exploded. Headlines everywhere. Billionaire's wife and best friend caught an elaborate fraud scheme. Maid saves employer from false accusation trap. Love lies and betrayal in high society. Marcus stayed quiet through it all. He didn't give interviews. He didn't release statements. He let the evidence speak. 3 weeks later, the courtroom was packed. Vanessa sat in the defendant's box, her designer clothes replaced with plain prison attire. David sat beside her, his head down. The judge listened to the recordings, watched the video footage, read Joy's statement. When it was time for Marcus to speak, he stood calmly. Vanessa looked at him, her eyes pleading. Marcus didn't look away, but he didn't soften either. Your Honor, Marcus said quietly, I trusted these people with my life. They betrayed that trust not out of need, but out of greed. The judge nodded. They planned to destroy me, Marcus continued, to humiliate me, to steal from me. And they would have succeeded if not for one person. Marcus turned slightly and looked at Joy, who sat in the gallery, her hands clasped tightly. One person, Marcus repeated, who had nothing to gain and everything to lose. But she chose truth anyway. Joy's eyes filled with tears. The judge gave the final ruling. Vanessa and David were found guilty of conspiracy to commit fraud, attempted extortion, and conspiracy to file a false police report. Vanessa screamed. David sat in silence. The courtroom erupted. Marcus closed his eyes briefly. It was over. That evening, Marcus returned to the penthouse. It felt different now. Empty, but clean. Quiet, but peaceful. Joy stood in the kitchen unsure. When Marcus walked in, she quickly bowed. Sir, I'll pack my things. Marcus frowned. Why? Joy looked up surprised. Because you thought I'd fire you? Joy nodded, her voice small. People like Madame Vanessa, they always punish people like me. Marcus walked closer. Joy, you saved me. Joy's eyes widened. Marcus reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. He handed it to her. Joy took it with trembling hands. She opened it slowly. Inside was a check, a large check. More money than Joy had ever seen. Sir, she gasped, this is too much. Marcus shook his head. It's not enough. Joy began to cry. Marcus continued gently. I'm also enrolling you in university. Whatever you want to study, I'll pay for it. Joy covered her mouth, sobbing. And when you graduate, Marcus added, there's a position waiting for you in my company. Not as a maid, as a professional. Joy couldn't speak. She just cried. Marcus smiled softly. You whispered 2 words that changed my life. Joy looked up through her tears. Be quiet? Marcus nodded. Because of those words, I didn't lose everything. I didn't fall into their trap. I stayed quiet. I watched, and I won. Joy wiped her face. Sir, I don't know how to thank you. Marcus's voice was warm. You already did. Months passed. Marcus's life stabilized. His companies grew stronger. His name was cleared completely. He started a foundation called Speak Truth, Stay Strong. It helped young people, especially domestic workers, who witnessed injustice but were afraid to speak up. Joy became the face of the foundation. She gave talks. She shared her story. She inspired thousands. One evening, Marcus stood on his balcony, looking out at the city. His phone buzzed. A message from his lawyer. Appeal denied, sentences upheld, case closed. Marcus exhaled slowly. It was truly over. He thought about Vanessa, about David, about everything he lost. But then he thought about everything he gained. Clarity, strength, truth. He heard footsteps behind him. Joy appeared, holding 2 cups of tea. "Sir, you look like you needed this," she said with a small smile. Marcus took the cup. "Thank you, Joy." They stood in comfortable silence, looking out at the city lights. "Sir," Joy said softly, "can I ask you something?" "Of course. Do you regret trusting them?" Marcus thought for a long moment. Then he shook his head. "No," he said quietly. "Because if I hadn't trusted them, I wouldn't have learned who to trust." He looked at Joy. She smiled, understanding. Marcus turned back to the city. "Betrayal taught me something important," he continued. "It's not about never trusting again. It's about trusting the right people." Joy nodded. "And sometimes," Marcus added with a small smile, "the right people are the ones who whisper, 'Be quiet,' when you're about to make the biggest mistake of your life." Joy laughed softly. They stood together, 2 people who survived betrayal, who chose truth over fear, who proved that sometimes the quietest voices carry the loudest truth. And as the city lights twinkled below them, Marcus finally felt something he hadn't felt in months. Peace. Real, lasting peace. The kind that comes not from avoiding pain, but from walking through it and coming out stronger on the other side. If this story moved you, drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from. The USA, the UK, South Africa, anywhere in the world. Share this with someone who needs a reminder that truth always finds its way to the light. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories about love, justice, and what it truly means to be human.